I said, and then he's going to eat that.
If you need
I said, here he's eating a biscuit. I'm telling you, these are thick.
Okay.
I'm
All
positive.
right, I'll make sure.
I'm good.
I don't want to get in trouble.
I'm
I
good.
put that heater around here where you be warm.
I'm good. I got stockings plus my socks on. Remember, I lived on the farm too, John.
Yeah.
I know how to face the cold.
Well, you know, a little bit earlier on today, I got to thinking. You know, I run a little heaters in it because I've got another interview tonight. But I said, and I got to looking, I had them vents were wide open.
That's smart, wasn't it?
I said, why didn't I? So I said, I got me some cardboard and
closed it up.
Closed them vents up. Well, I'm here today with my friend Bobbie Sparks, who I seem like I've known for a long time. I was a little boy, it seems like.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I've known her for a long time. She's a friend of my family, and I really appreciate her. You can't be around Bobbie that she don't make you happy, make you feel good. She always encourages me, and she jumps on me sometimes every once in a while, but I can take that. I'm pretty good. If I had more emotions, it would bother me, but she jumps on me, but I can live with it. Okay, Bobbie, what I want to talk about? Let's talk about growing up. Okay.
Growing up.
Well, where did you grow up at?
Right here in Tazewell.
Okay.
Right here, born and bred, here in Tazewell.
Right.
Country girl from the heart.
What area did you grow up in? Where at?
Right here in Tazewell on Tazewell Avenue. Then we moved to Dogwood Road.
Okay.
And after that, we moved over on Brook Street behind the police station.
Okay.
So behind the courthouse. So that's then the guy comes swoop me away.
That can happen.
Yeah, he swooped me away. And then I lived on Blacksburg Street down by the river.
Right.
Had to run from the water occasionally. But then I went over to the farm, got married again, and moved over to the farm. I'm a country girl.
Well, good.
On Johnson Branch.
Yeah.
Yeah, to foot a stone.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
and now I'm back in town. I'm a city girl.
All right. Well, I like being. I don't like my car to get off the asphalt. You know what I mean? I like to be able to pull up there on the asphalt, back around, drive back out, and I don't know. I'm pretty much. I like being where we live. Is we have bears and deers and everything here, but I'm 5 minutes from Food Line, so that works out real good.
But see, I live right in the town, and the bears come and visit me kind of
Ain't
often.
that something?
And tore up my screen out of my window, tore my air conditioning out of my window a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Who was it one time I knew somebody they had a van got hit by a bear. And I knew somebody one time had a bear try to climb in the window of their house at night.
That was
you?
me.
Okay, I was thinking it was you.
Yes.
Did you have one tear a vehicle up one time too, or was that a deer or something?
No, I didn't have none.
Okay, all right. I kept thinking.
I didn't have none, but
a bear. Yeah, I remember that.
Over on the farm now, I didn't have the problem with the bears. The bears had to roam, the farm. But out here in town, and everybody blamed it on my cooking. Said I was in there cooking something. And I said, no, I hadn't cooked in 2 days. But the bear took my air conditioner out of the window, pulled my curtains down, had his claw stuck in the back of my couch, and took all the screens off the back side of my house.
That's crazy.
And a handprint like this was on the back of my door. And, the girl come from the town.
Yeah.
They came down to investigate. And she's looking all around in my den. She's doing like this. I said, honey, what are you doing? And she said, well, I was just trying to figure out what the bear had come here for. And she said, now I see.
Yeah.
And I said, what did he come for? Tell me. She said, you got all these people here in your house. I collect teddy bears. And I had all kind of teddy bears around, little whatnots, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And she said, that's what he is after. And I said, well, I'm glad he is after that instead of me.
Golly.
But he was on this side of the house, and my bedroom was on this side, and he come twice.
Well,
twice.
My daughter lives right up on the hill, right in the middle of everything. And I mean, she's got one now the other night. I mean, he walked like a pony, comes right up on the porch, comes around in there like a. And I had one time come down the street here, had 2 cubs with it, hopped over the fence, and it went right up the hill just like it wasn't nothing. But I tell you what, it took me 40 years, but I finally figured out how to fix my garbage cans where they couldn't get in them. Took 40 years to figure it out because they would absolutely rip the top off them garbage cans and stuff like that. But I finally got them, man. I got them things fixed now but bears are something now.
It's a lot of them out into town, and you know, but you know, you can't blame the bears because they turn up the mountainsides.
Yeah,
and they got no place to go but come down.
Yeah, it's a dangerous thing, man. It really is. I think about that a lot. And I don't know, you know, I mean, and you know, coming down the 4-lane, I see them sometimes, you know, you see them everywhere.
Yeah, the people's hit them on the 4-lane, and the deer are plentiful to come down into the town.
My son has hit 6 so far.
Oh, man.
The paint barely dries on his car till he hits another one. And he absolutely has hit, because he leaves out early in the morning.
Right,
and it seems like those animals, man, will be out there, and if they get me, they'll have to get me between here and Hardee's. Is about the closest they can do. If they get me, it'll be pretty close. They'll have to
just throw some of that gravy and biscuit out the window.
Right. But they are. But I don't know. You know, I've always lived, even when I lived at War, when I was a boy growing up, I lived downtown.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, and I never, you know, most we ever lived was down in Baptist Valley. We lived down there for a while. When Janice and I first got married, we moved down there. And I really didn't like it because seemed like I was so far away.
Right.
I'm used to being, I don't mind having a house right next to me. I've always had a house, you know, within just next to me and stuff like that. And I never have, and I know a lot of people, it drives them crazy. They can't do it, but I don't know. I've always been accustomed to it.
When I moved into the neighborhood where I'm at now, over 21 years ago, maybe 22, and the house on this side on the right's empty. The house on the left's empty. The house across the street's empty.
You might be the problem.
so you know, the house on two houses down's empty. And I said, you know, I got the best neighborhood there is.
Well, you know what we done here? We started. I'm real bad. My daddy, when he always raised me toward that, we would always buy the houses next to you. You start buying houses, and that's sort of what we done here. We started buying this house and buying that house and buying this house, and so you knew you had your neighbors. You knew who they were.
Knew who they were.
Yeah, and that is still, even if it's your family, it ain't always good. but I'm okay with it. Well, let's think about, all right, so we talk about growing up. Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about grandkids just a minute. I don't know if you got any or not.
I do.
You got grandkids?
I got 4.
I would have known that.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm only 16, right? I'm only 16.
You have 4 of them.
I have 4. I have four boys.
Good.
And from 27 to 12.
Yeah. Gee whiz.
And the one 12 years old, as tall as I am.
I know he is.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
And my ball player, you know him.
Right, yes, sir.
And then in July, this past July, she's a year old now, I got my girl.
Well, Lord.
I got my girl, and I'm telling you, and she's named after me.
Is she?
Samara Gale.
Well, now, so girls are going to be expensive, is the only thing I found about girls. I mean, I'm glad I don't have no granddaughters, because, I mean, that would just, I mean, I know I'd go broke trying to take care of that. You know, grandsons, I've got 3 grandsons, which is not much. You know, the good thing about grandkids, let me ask you this, maybe because you're a lot nicer than me, I know that. But I mean, when I think about, I wanted to live long enough to see my kids get what they deserve. Okay? I wanted them to have kids, okay? So I could watch them. Because I got good kids, but they still some things there. I said, I want them to really get what's coming to them. And I can see it happening. You know, I got one little one down here. And that little rascal, he's so smart. You know, he runs everybody, knows he can read you when he walks in the room. Then my youngest daughter, which, you know, she was always lively and when she was young, but she had got a little redheaded boy. So she's going to get what's coming to her. But the cool thing is, Morgan, my oldest daughter, my grandson there, he is a really good boy. Okay? Now, she was a good girl. We never whipped her when she was little. We beat the other kids a lot, but never whipped her. But and she was talking to me how good he is. I said, yeah, he's a different kind of sneaky. So she'll get what's coming to her.
Yeah.
See, but I know you don't think like that.
No. But my oldest grandson, he's done well for himself, and I mean, as a matter of fact, he lives on up here. He's your neighbor. My oldest son is your neighbor that lives up here on this street too, right up here above you. But then my daughter is a nurse. I have the one daughter.
Right.
And she has a son, and he has a little boy, a great-grandma. Great-grandma.
Gee whiz.
And then I don't get to see him too often.
Right.
And then I have my ball player, who I see that one all the time.
Yes, yes.
And then there's another little boy in the middle that I don't get to see because they don't live around here.
Right.
And I said, but then my girl, here's my girl.
Yeah, that's
I'm telling you something. She's a year old. She's a cleaner.
Yeah.
She's a cleaner. She comes to Granny's house. I said, you're at the right house, baby. And
good.
she be cleaning up and dusting and taking. I mean, smart.
Yeah.
And I mean, you tell her take something, put it in trash. She takes it, put it in
Right.
trash. She can't talk all plain yet.
Yeah.
But she can she lets you
Let
know
you know
what
what she
she's
wants.
thinking about. She's potty training. And I
good.
said, I said, when my children was coming up,
Yeah.
we wasn't doing all this at this age.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
And I said, all of this little old girl's just
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And I said, but you know what? It takes me back to the Bible.
Yeah.
He said, every generation's a weaker and wiser.
Yeah.
And I said, just smart. And I mean, she just a while ago when I dropped John off up there with him, she jumped on his lap and laid her head up in his chest. I said, you giving them all the loving today? I said, Granny don't get no loving. She jumped over on my lap and she laid her little head up. And that's it. They lay them little heads down.
They know what they're doing.
I'm telling you, they know they got Granny right here.
Mine will come to the door and won't in sometimes. And he'll put his mouth on the door and he blows. And I tell him, no, you go home to your house. He said, let me in, Papa. I said, no, you go home. That's it. But they're a lot of fun. Now, I don't want to keep them a long time. I know you do that kind of stuff. But grandkids at my house, I don't mind them a little while.
Yeah, but then you send them off.
Because I can't take noise like I used to. I can't take all this chitter-chatter.
Well, I see what they do nowadays. They want to sit in front of the TV and work them games.
Right.
And then they get to hooping and hollering and jumping, and they don't want to go to bed when Granny tells them go to bed.
Yeah,
so you up 3 and 4 times going in there to see if they done turned the TV off. You can forget it. You can forget it. Because they are on their own mission.
Right.
And I said, Lord have mercy. Mama said it one time. You didn't do it. Something was coming through to meet you,
Yeah,
and I said,
but you don't do them grandkids like
and
that.
I said, here you talk to them 5 and 6 times, and I'm going, I said, let me behave. I said, because if I hit him, they gonna lock me up, and that's what they gonna do.
See, what I do is my wife gets a little more stressed. Janice is a little stressed out, but I don't get all stressed because I ain't gonna correct them a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, if I had to keep them a lot, I might, but I sort of give them a little bit of nudging, and I say, okay. And you know what I mean? You just go on, whatever. I'll come to bed sometimes, and we'll have one at the house, and she said, did you tell him to go to bed? I said, I told him, but he didn't seem like he wanted to do it, so he'll be all right till in the morning. And then, I'll go in there, and they'll be up till 3 or 4 o'clock, and I said, don't bother me a bit. They'll be going home on their own. I don't care about it.
Well, I told John last night, I said, I'm telling you right now. I said, I don't think it'll be no school tomorrow. I said, but I'll tell you what. I said, in the morning, when that alarm goes off, you better rise. And he said, Granny, I'll be up before you. I'll be up before you. And I said, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So then at 10 after 7, he sends me a message on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm up. So I wait about 20 minutes and I go over in there. I go in the den. Laid over in the corner snoring. I said, hey. And he said, like this. I said, I thought you was already awake. I was, but I had to go back to sleep, Granny. I said, yeah, because I come in here at 3 o'clock and turn that TV off.
Right. I know what you mean.
Oh, that's it.
Well, grandkids are fun.
They are.
They are fun,
They are.
But I really want to, I see it and I enjoy them a lot. Okay, so when we talk about growing up, what are some memories when you think about as a young girl growing up? What are some memories that stand out, some things in your mind?
My daddy.
Okay.
I was daddy's baby girl.
Okay.
There's 6 of us, and I'm the baby. And my daddy is a horseman like you are.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy used to break horses and all kinds of stuff. He rode the races. I would have been a rich girl, John, if that old alcohol bottle hadn't got in the way.
Right.
But my daddy used to he had a horse named after him. His name's Buckwheat. I don't know if you've heard of my dad or not.
No, hadn't.
And he worked over for Lambert's for years. But he trained horses and so for James Barnett. You heard of James Barnett?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
My daddy was the one that cared for his horses and rode races with Jim Safewright.
Right.
And stuff. And got some trophies, but he put me on a horse one day, and he said he would not. Now, I'm the baby, remember?
Right.
And his favorite. Make them girls know I'm his favorite.
Yes.
He ended up hitting that horse, and I went up through, that horse took me up through the schoolyard, and he whistled. Mm-hmm. He whistled, and that horse stopped dead in his tracks.
Right.
Horse turned around. He called it back. That horse turned around, took me right back there to where he was. Yeah. I'm crying, boo-hooing, crying. I said, Mama, please don't let him do it to me no more. And he said, I will not have a child that's afraid of a horse.
Right. That's good.
And I'm telling you, I said, I'll never forget my daddy and that horse. But he was, my mom and dad, they was good to us. My mama worked for a doctor for years. My daddy was down at the packing house and stuff.
And which packing house was he at?
He worked at Lambert's.
Over there on
in Squire.
Yeah, in Squire.
There's Squire.
Right, up on the hill.
He also worked at this one out here at Bill Larmer.
Okay, I don't remember.
Out here, it was by the old bowling alley.
Okay, all right.
It was one right there, remember?
Okay, but I remember Lambert's, man, everybody went there.
Well, my daddy worked there for years.
Everybody went to Lambert's.
He did.
Yeah, and everybody went to Lambert's. Stuck there and got your meat done. I remember that. I remember all them Lamberts and stuff growing up, the Jules and Punky.
Punky, yeah.
Hardly well, Punky's gone.
Yeah, David and Mike.
Right.
Yeah, I still keep in Wanda is our line dance instructor. And
that's cool.
We still yet keep in contact with him and go over to the auction house, and see him. Right. And I always
go to the auction house and I buy stuff I absolutely don't need. Do you ever do that? I buy stuff I don't need. I don't need it, but I buy it because it's a good deal. I've got this whole building full of stuff's good deals. I guess that's a good deal.
That's the way it always is.
Yeah.
It's a good deal. You'll figure out some corner to stick it in or something.
I try when I buy stuff now to think of who I'm going to give it to on my way home, and I used to get some things that I bought a lot of surplus stuff, just that I bought things and had tires and stuff like that, and used to get really good deals on it. But my uncles and my dad would come up and pick through my stuff and take it. It was a better deal for them than it was for me.
Yeah, because theirs was free.
Yeah, they wouldn't pay for it at all. Well, when you think of memories and you think of stuff, I mean, so did you have a pony or anything, or did he just fool with the horses?
Yeah, that was his horse. That was our horse, old Buck.
Yeah.
And he sold it to a man down in Abington. A man wanted that horse so bad. He sold it to a man. He told him, he said, it's not going to stay with you. Mm-hmm. He said, but now if you want it, he said, I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
He sold the horse to the man, and when the man got home and let it go, it went to the mountains. And the man called him and said, the horse is gone. Said, can you come down here and try to get it? And he said, I told you it wasn't going to stay with you.
Right.
When you got it. Huh. The man never did find the horse.
You know, there used to be out here, before you get to Ramey's on the left-hand side, there used to be a horse barn, a walking horse barn out there on the left-hand side. Then they come in and cemented it and turned it into a furniture store. Now it belongs to John Glaver's now, but it used to be a barn, a horse training barn.
A barn there.
Yeah, right there. And then over at Cucumber there was a barn, walking horse training stables over toward Cucumber and over that way. The big one over there in the bottom over there, and it used to be over there. But stuff like that, history that you think of. I think of those things around that are gone. Well, you remember the barn on the fairgrounds?
Yeah.
Mary T. was out there. It was called the Mary T. It was a barn.
Out to the back.
Right on the fairgrounds out there, and then had that big track.
Around it.
It used to be all the way around there.
Sure
They used to bring race horses in there and racehorses. Right. People come there and trade. They used to come in there and trade all the time on memories like that.
Well,
People don't even remember. They talk to people now. They don't even remember there ever being a track there, being a barn there. They have no idea.
well, see, that's the reason why we always go to Lewisburg to the fair.
Yeah.
Daddy used to run races in Lewisburg and up in the Winchester, Virginia. And we ended up, that was just a thing that we did every year at the fair, and then they stopped having them.
Yeah, that was silly.
That's crazy,
That was crazy, them stopping those races. I mean, everybody enjoyed that.
Yes, they
and,
did.
that wasn't progress when they stopped that.
No,
they shouldn't have stopped that.
They stopped, but most of all of them. We was up there when we went last year, up there.
Yeah, no horse races. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't.
We was there. We was there at the thing and walked around, and I'm telling you, in about 2 hours we was ready to go.
Well, I was the same way. I didn't even go this last year. I just, I tell you what I do. I go to Florida. They have a big state fair in February in Florida. And we get to Tampa. We go there, and I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful fair I've ever seen in my life. It's all asphalt, and real beautiful, and the food is so great and entertaining. But we go every year in February. We go down to Florida and go to the state fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I tell you what. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about cooking. Okay. Now here's the thing. I'm telling you,
John. I don't want to show you up now.
I appreciate it. I think it's really cute that you think you can cook better than me. I think it's good. Now I'm not saying. And I don't mean. I'm known as the dream crusher. Okay, when it comes to cooking, but there's a lot of people out there. It's like, I don't know if you know her. There's a little girl over called Jody White. Joe White's wife.
Jody, I know
and
Jody.
She thinks she can cook better than me all the time. She says something about how good she can cook, and I don't say nothing to her because she's young.
Yeah.
And I don't want to crush her dreams, and make her feel bad. She can't cook better than me. And she'll talk about her corn. And then she sometimes she'll cook and she'll put a picture up. And I said, I didn't see you cook that.
Yeah.
I think Joe might have cooked that or something like that. What do you enjoy cooking?
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything and everything.
Yeah.
I cook all the time, and that's just the truth of it. But now my specialties is my zucchini bread, banana nut bread, fried apple pies, and then I got a new thing called the biscuits, apple biscuits.
Okay.
I can't tell you the secret. He's wanting my secret.
Well, all right.
It's an apple biscuit.
Okay. All right. I'll think on that.
He did put his. I fried my pies. He puts his in the air fryer.
I don't fry my pies. I'm on a strict diet.
I'm supposed to be too.
Chocolate donuts and stuff like that. I do. Last time I took in my pies and I normally never do it, but I put a little cinnamon sugar on the outside of them.
Right.
And it's just too sweet. It's so sweet. Woo. I took some out to Steve Wingo. I took some out to him. I called him and took him some pies out there to him, and because I tried to get him out of the house quick as possible.
Right.
If not, I'll eat them. But I made last night. I made the garlic steak bites and took some garlic and some steak. But I tell you what I learned last night. I throwed away all of my garlic in them little glass jars. I throwed it in the garbage. I said, I'm sick of that mess. It ain't no good. It just like all it is a little old.
Together.
It just ain't got no really taste. Just like a bitter old taste to it. The best garlic I've had comes in it's in the refrigerator section, and it says fresh garlic on it, and it open up the bag and it sort of burns you. It's really good garlic. But that other garlic, I called Janice. I was feeding the donkeys last night with my son, and I called her. I said, before I get home, I want you to throw all that garlic away. I don't even want to see it. Put it in the bottom of the garbage can. I said, go in there, every bit of garlic in them little old jars, just throw it away because I just don't like it. I get funny about that stuff.
Now my garlic I use is in the shakers.
Right?
You don't use that?
Yeah, use the garlic salt and garlic powder.
No, it's just garlic, plain garlic.
Dried.
Dried garlic powder.
Okay.
And then when you open it, then you're going to smell it.
That's good garlic.
Yeah, you're going to smell it. Yeah.
Is it refrigerated or is it dried?
No, it's
just
dried.
Okay.
Yeah, you can keep it up in the shelf.
All right. I might try it, but this garlic I got, you had to keep it in the refrigerator, and it was in
the glass jar.
No, it was in a plastic bag, and you reclosed the top of it. But buddy, when you open that up, it gets your eyes. I said, "This is good garlic.
Some good stuff."
It says fresh garlic on the outside of it. But I enjoy cooking. You know, why do you like to cook?
I think it's heredity. My mom, her sisters, my grandmother, all of them were good cooks.
Right.
And I mean, you know, my mama worked for Dr. Johnston, and she would call home, and she'd say, "Bob, put such and such on the stove."
Yeah.
And I mean, like I told you, I'm the baby.
Yeah.
And I would get it out and I'd put it on the stove, just like my mama said.
Yeah.
And, you know, the time she come in from work in the evening, her dinner be ready. And I said, she taught me how to go to the store, go shopping, how to go to the grocery store and go shopping. And I did that from the time I was knee-high to a duck, as they say. And, you know, and then after I started having children, they were my taste buds.
Yeah, makes
you know,
sense.
they taste it. And, you know, if it's good, Mama, they eat it.
Yeah.
But, you know, most of the time, that was it. And, you know, you have dinners at the church and different stuff. And you made stuff, and you seen if the people eat it. It was good. It was. So that's how I learned. That's how basically I learned to cook.
Yeah. Do you follow recipes, or do you stagger through it? Like I do. That's the way I think I design. You know, I have a hard time following recipes.
There's times I follow a recipe.
Right.
In which, you know, my mom's passed now. And they was doing, you know, others was getting stuff out of the house. And they said, "Do you not want nothing, Bob?" And I said, "Go on and get what you want." I said, "I know you're not going to get what I want."
Right.
So, you know, then after they left, I went up there, pulled the drawer out. Right there was her cookbook.
Well,
the cookbooks my mama used.
Right.
And I said, and the canon books, and there's stuff in there she had critiqued, you know, and I said, they'll never know how to use it.
You know, I've gotten now to where I write down some recipes, okay? Because here's what I do. I cook, I fix stuff, but then I forget that I like it. And then I'll be looking at a video or something that I've done. I said, well, how come I ain't? It's like casseroles. I like making the casseroles. But I hadn't made any in forever. And then the other day I was watching one of my videos, and I said, I want to make some casseroles, you know, but I forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've got a buddy who's a chef. He's in Arizona, and he's wrote a big, nice cookbook, got it on Amazon. And but I have a hard time following the recipes. I just have an issue with it. I don't know.
Well, you know, when you making something, when you fixing your food, it's up to you as to what you want to put in it.
Right.
And that's the name of the game. You know what it tastes like, what it's supposed to taste like.
Right.
And you can put whatever you want to in there to fix it.
Right.
And I mean, you know, if you're a person that likes a lot of garlic in yourself, when you make your chili, for your hot dogs or whatever, you chili beans, you dump your little extra garlic over in it. You know, and it'll cover whatever else you fix it, and or whatever spice you decide to use. And I said, you know, today before I come up here, there's a pot. I done turned it off, but this morning I got up and I put some chicken breast in the pot.
In the crock pot?
No, I just did it in a regular pot, because then when I go back, I'm going to put it over in the crock pot and put some other vegetables and noodles with it, and make a pot of chicken noodle soup.
Okay.
See, but I cook my breast over here and put the seasoning in it and let it cook up. Yeah. So then I'll pour it all over in the crock pot after it's done.
How many people are you feeding when you eat at your house? I mean, has there very many people come to eat, or is it just you and John, or who comes?
Me and John today is who will be eating. But for Thanksgiving, I had 7.
Yeah, we had 20. And I got a little tiny house. My house is small, ain't but a little over 800 square feet. And what we do is push all the furniture back in the living room, and we put tables out. We've been white folding tables, and it looks like a beer joint by the time we get done. You know, but everybody comes to the house. But you know what I'm trying to learn how to do is cook in smaller portions. And it's hard to do.
Never happened.
Okay, I have a hard time. But here's one thing that's helped me. I went to Walmart and bought a 2-quart crock pot, little old small crock pot. And what I can put in there, like this morning, I had some pork chops, okay? Some pork chops, they were frozen, okay? And I said, well, so I just put them in the bottom of that crock pot. And I seasoned them a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I had Janice cut me up just a potato, a big potato. Cut up a big potato and season it, put a little beef broth in it, set it up there, and I'll just let it go till this evening. But I found that little crock pot will limit me, because if I get a big one, I'll put 3 potatoes. You know what I mean?
You're going to fill it up.
But I'm trying now, because so many people out there, if just one or two, if it's one person in the home, my mom, we go at this all the time because she won't cook a lot of times. She says, just me.
Yeah.
I said, if you'll look at it differently and say, all right, in the morning, I'm going to cut me a little piece of roast and put it in that crock pot, and put me some potatoes and carrots and celery, or whatever you want in there.
Right.
And season it up and sit that on there and let it run all day and let it go. I said, leave it alone. I said, you'll eat better food. And you won't, and I
won't
don't
be eating now.
You know, and I don't season a whole lot of stuff. I don't salt and pepper hard. I'm pretty light because I try to not eat so much of that stuff.
Right. Well, the salt intake will get you.
Yeah.
It'll swell you up anyway. So, you know, but the thing to do is, when I cook, and just like I fixed this today, I'll fix the soup today, but tomorrow is leftovers.
Right. Right.
And then anything else.
Right.
If you don't want to eat it on the third day,
right.
Now it depends on how good it is, because sometimes, now me, when I was there by myself, I'd have fixed it. Mm-hmm. And I'd eat it till it was gone. You know what I'm saying? I'd eat it till I was gone.
Well, I got neighbors. I got my son, daughter-in-law live next door.
Uh-huh.
So like last night, I sent over them garlic steak bites and potatoes.
Right.
You know, and when I cook, I always cook for them too. And but I try my best to do things in a small portion and really work on that, and put me a roast in, and just a small roast, okay?
Yeah.
And like the other day, I made gravy and biscuits the other day, okay? Homemade gravy and biscuits. But I used a half a pound of sausage.
Yeah.
I put the other half back in the freezer. And I tried to make a small, I just used 2 cups of flour. So I just made 5 little smaller biscuits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because because if I ain't careful, I'll make 20. And I'll have a great big old pan of gravy. But I said, I'm trying to focus on, you know, and I did. I don't like a lot of leftovers because I like to cook again.
See,
I enjoy cooking again.
but now I like my leftovers too, because then ain't nothing like when you do beans.
Right.
And then you got your leftover beans the next day.
Right.
Okay, now you may eat the pintos that day, 2 days. The third day, you better turn them into some chili beans or something.
Right.
And there you go. See, you can.
But you're fixing too much. Okay, you
just do that 1 pound of beans.
Right.
At 1 pound of beans, and it's gonna last you a couple.
How long does it take you to fix beans?
How long? Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Now how long? I put them in. I do them in the night before and let them soak.
Right.
Then that morning I get up and put them in the pot.
Right.
And 3 or 4 hours.
I do mine at night, like you said. Okay, and then sometimes, and I put a little bit of beef broth in mine sometimes. Okay, I like a little bit of beef broth, but I don't want it salty. Put non-salted beef broth.
Yeah.
And then what I did, my dad used to fix it, and I fixed a couple like this. Instead of putting ham, I put some hamburger. I take some hamburger and fry it and brown it.
Yeah.
And put in my brown beans. But I'll put them in early that morning, and I like for them to sit at least 12 hours.
Oh, gracious.
In that on low. I put them in there on low.
In the crock pot.
In the crock pot. It takes me about 20 hours to make a pot of beans.
Oh, goodness.
And my chili beans now.
We beat and starved to death waiting
I
on
know,
you.
I can't help it. But I'm a championship chili bean cook. I won a big competition, my chili beans.
I seen that on the thing.
You
was down in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I said, I know he done went to Wendy's and got him some chili beans.
And this is what happened. I started at 4 that morning. Okay, getting ready before 12 o'clock, doing my beans.
Yeah.
Got my chili beans. I'm at that 4 o'clock with my drawers on and my T-shirt. I'm fixing them beans, getting just right, and I want them to set just right. I had that down. Well, anyway, I didn't really know I was going to win, okay? And there was these ladies, it was just me and all these ladies in the competition, okay? And I threatened them pretty hard. I told them, I said, you girls are just here for the eye candy. I said, I'm going to win this competition. I said, you know, you can't beat me. I said, I call my chili the Dream Crusher. And I said, oh, they were, well, I won. Okay, I won. So now
I've seen that.
I keep my ribbon hanging in the kitchen. Sometimes I clip it on me while I'm cooking. And but anyway, I enjoy cooking. I like cooking. I started cooking different than you. I didn't cook till COVID.
Oh, goodness.
I made hamburgers and stuff because we had restaurants, but I never really cooked any. But when COVID come,
yeah,
I got to watch it on YouTube, and I was watching this guy. I call him Drunk Steve, okay? And he would go out places and camp out, and he would cook. He'd just pull his stuff out of his bag, an onion and a potato, and he would put it in a pot and put his beef in there. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. So I got to talking to Janice. I said, I'd like to try that. She said, well, okay. And then I got to go into the grocery store. And I never went to the grocery store. Now she don't go. I go almost every day in case something's on sale. I don't want to miss it. But I go in and I do all the grocery shopping now. I do all the cooking. I told them COVID now affected us different. It made her where she can't get up there to get the pots now. She can't do the cooking no more. But now I do the cooking. It caused me to go to cooking. But I do all the cooking and I drive her crazy. Like, you know, last night she said, let's just have a sandwich. I said, no, I want to make garlic steak bites. And I cut up some steaks and fixed them in there and I don't know. I think I like cooking. I like feeling like I can get something finished. And I see that food.
Yeah.
And I can start it and I feel like I've done something. I don't know. I enjoy it.
Well, it's a good thing to cook because you know something, as long as you got a wife, children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, somebody gonna have to feed them, and you're gonna have to pass that down the line. My son told me, he said, Mama, he said, in the process of you in that house, he said, write up recipes for my daughter. And I said, huh? And he said, write up recipes for my daughter. He said, I want her to have your cookbook.
Right.
And I said, well, that's mighty nice of you. And he used to laugh and make jokes about my fried apple pies.
Right.
And then this weekend, what did he say? Mama, can you fix me some pies to take back to work with me? And I said, those bad pies? I know that's not what you're talking about. He said, yeah. He's done some real good pies, Mama.
Well, he's probably like that because he ain't never had mine. So
listen at that.
Once he gets mine, he'll be calling saying, John, would you fix me some pies to take to work?
Yes. Say we're gonna cut John out of the picture. Say I told him, I said, now look at that. I said, ain't that something? I said, and I've made pies, them fried pies for years. Yeah. And he'd always joke about them.
Right.
And I said, and you decided now you like them? Now you like them?
Yeah.
And he said, I said, probably the baby likes them. And that's what you decided. Now she's eating them.
Yeah.
I better start eating them or I ain't going to get none at all.
I enjoy fixing them things.
Yeah.
And I've never fried them, though. Never fried a pie. I always put them in and bake them. I just do it. And, you know, I've never fried chicken in the skillet. Okay? I bake it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just what I started doing. And a while back, and I'll tell you what I did do a while back. I got to watching these people take these banana peppers, and they floured them and done that.
I think I didn't see you trying to do that.
Man.
I said,
that was terrible. That was the awfulest thing that I've ever done in my life.
I've seen that.
I was at the races in Hickory, and I said, I was in the camper. We'd been in the camper, and I said, I'm going to try these peppers. It was terrible. I'm going to have to figure that out, and I don't know.
Now, they were supposed to be fried peppers, wasn't it?
Yeah, banana peppers.
Okay, but now see, you got the jar of peppers that had the liquid.
Right. Can't do it.
First mistake.
That's what Janice said.
You were supposed to got the fresh peppers
and cut them
from the store and cut them.
Yeah, I know.
And then slice them.
She told me.
And I said, when I was watching it, I said, he's gonna mess up.
Oh, I did.
He's gonna mess
up. It was terrible.
And then I just was cracking up laughing
because
then
terrible.
You said, I can't do this.
It was terrible.
But the fluid's what did it.
I ate a few of them. I said, I'm gonna have to eat them. Hold on a second. All right, I said I'm gonna have to eat them. You know what I mean? I said I can't not eat them, and all the breading come off completely, and it was just this crunchy stuff I got out of the bottom of the skillet. I don't know. I thought, all right. So we talked about cooking, which we've established that I'm better cook. But okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I ain't gonna talk about cornbread. I'm gonna leave that alone, okay? Because
I make some good cornbread
too.
now
Quit. You know, I tell you what I found on cornbread for me. And Janice always, I try to do it in the cast iron skillet, and I do it, and I heat it, and I do all that. But buddy, I have it still get the stick sometimes, okay? And I do the preheating and all the stuff. But the other day, Janice said, do not put it in the cast iron skillet. And she told me, made me put it in a little old full thing.
Pan.
It was perfect. It come out there, didn't stick to nothing. I said,
But I do my cornbread in the cast iron skillet, and I can also do it in the long bowl type thing. But now the secret to that is you spray the thing.
Right.
You spray it, put some oil in it.
Right.
Okay. And then you whip up the stuff and pour it in there.
Right.
It ain't never stuck.
Do you not preheat your skillet?
No.
Okay. I've done it both ways.
No, don't preheat it.
Sometimes I'll preheat my skillet, and then I put it in there. And then I've tried not preheating my skillet. I've done pretty good. I wrestled along pretty good, And I done my biscuits the other day. I done just a 2-ingredient biscuits. I used nothing but whipping cream and flour, self-rising flour. It's all I used.
And it turned out?
Turned out great. And I've been looking, it's just called a 2-ingredient and a 2-ingredient biscuit. Nothing but self-rising flour and whipping cream, heavy whipping cream. That's all I used.
You don't like graham biscuit, Pillsbury graham biscuit?
I sound like Janice. She says, when I'm making gravy, and I love to make gravy, okay? And she says, and we got all kinds of it in the little packages. She says, we got that in them little packages in there. And then my mom says all the time, I said, I want them to make these biscuits, And I used to make a bigger mess. I'm doing better. I don't make as big a mess now. I used to have flour
everywhere,
all over the place, in the floor, and it gets in the floor. Flour does, but I'm doing better. I can do it a little better. And my seasonings, I used to have it all over the place in the stove and everything, but I season real easy now. I'm doing a lot better than what I used to.
But you know something? The main thing about cooking, I cook and clean.
Yeah.
I don't leave no mess going. I cook and clean.
Yeah.
As I'm cooking, I clean this mess.
Right.
And I'm happy.
Janice does the dishwashing because she don't like the way I wash them. But the whole time I'm cooking, though, she cleans the skillet. We clean it real fast.
Yeah.
And she's real. She don't like a pan setting or nothing.
Well, see, I'm the one. I don't want nobody else. Like at the dinner the other day, that Marvin's girlfriend was trying to get over and clean the kitchen. I said, hey. I said, nobody washes dishes at Bobbie's house but Bobbie.
That's good.
And I said, and I said, you guys, that's nice of you. I thank you for doing it.
Right.
I said, but you go have a seat and sit down.
Yeah.
And my mama was the same way.
Right. That
and
makes sense.
I said, I don't know, but
we don't have a dishwasher either. We don't have no dishwasher. We wash
are the dishwashers.
We wash them all the time, and my kids all got dishwashers. But I said, no, we don't really. We wash them. We wash them dishes up. And I asked Janice what she wanted for Christmas, and she said she wanted a new. One of the things that sit beside the sink, you put your soap in, you press it down, and it comes up on the sponge.
Yeah,
it's a little thing.
Dispenser.
She wanted one of those.
Little soap dispenser.
Yeah, and I said, I'm going to get that for you, but nothing else. So I ordered it off Amazon, and it come in the other day, and she opened it up. I said, it is not Christmas. Why are you opening up your stuff? But I'll tell you what I did on my biscuits the other day. You should try them biscuits like that.
The 2 ingredients.
That's all, just 2 ingredients.
Okay.
Try them and you'll see it. I'm telling you, it's slick as can be. I don't cut no butter in.
And what is it? The
heavy whipping cream.
Heavy whipping cream.
Heavy whipping cream.
And the flour.
And self-rising flour.
Okay.
And in the past, I didn't a whole lot, but I make sure I sift my flour.
Okay, sift your flour.
Okay, because it seems to make everything so much better.
Fluffy.
If you don't sift them,
Yeah, they kind of just flat.
They're just flat. You know what I mean? But I started sifting my flour, and I had one of them sifters, but I've lost it. So I had to use a screen. I shake it, and sift it out. But it works out good. Well, all right, so we have established about my cooking. I'm really good. Okay?
I'm the best.
All right, let's talk about being a creature of habit. And now I've already heard you confess to some things, but are you a creature of habit?
I don't know. What is it? What is that all about?
Well, you do things a certain way all the time.
Well, just like I told you that I cook and wash
I've
the dishes.
heard you confess already.
Yes, I do that, but then not really, But that's one thing that I do. And my mama used to tell us two things: always to keep clean, keep your kitchen clean and your bathroom clean.
Right.
Didn't matter if the house was upside down.
Right.
But your bathroom, make sure your bathroom's clean and your kitchen's clean.
Right.
And, I try to follow along, and I hear her telling me those things, and I said, as I get older, I still hear her telling me those things. And I said, but I try to keep the house looking fairly decent.
Yeah.
But, no, not really.
I'm a little bit, as I've got older, I'm a little more of a creature of habit than what I used to be. I mean, in the mornings, I have to lay everything out on the sink, with my razor, my toothbrush, my everything. If not, I'll forget, okay?
Yeah.
And I do stuff, I got things that I lay out a certain way, and I just get, I'm a little bit of a creature of habit.
See, I'm not.
You're free living.
That's it. I just whatever, just there, I just...
Yeah.
What? Now I do make up my bed every day.
Right.
Every morning
the more we talk, I think you might be a creature of habit.
Now I have to make up my bed.
Oh yeah, it has
in the morning.
That.
And
I see how people don't do that. Do you?
Yeah, I don't either. I don't understand it. And then my grandson, I'll be telling him, I said, make that bed up. Make sure you make that bed up. And he say, well, I'm gonna get back in it tonight, Granny.
Yeah.
I said, but today I'm not gonna walk by there and look at it unmade. So I got him training on making his bed up and stuff. And I said that, but I mean, other than that, I'm making the bed, did the dishes.
Yeah. It sounds to me
my car, don't go out there and look at my car. Because my car got all that stuff in the floorboard of my car. And I get in there and I say, I need to run by and vacuum it out. I need to run by. And I'm going to forget it. Just keep going. And I said, but them's only two things, really, because nothing else. I mean, I try to keep some things organized, but then, just whatever comes up, pops up, you do it.
The first thing I done when I started cooking, went in and redone the kitchen cabinets, hung all my pots up just like I wanted, and I got a small Instapot, a big Instapot, all the different sizes of cast iron, and everything. I don't know. I'm a little bit funny about it. I have to... And it just, in my head gets a little bit, I have to think about things and I follow that.
Where you put it.
Yeah, I got a little bit funny about it, you know what I mean? And I was not as much as I didn't used to be. But I don't know, I guess I'm getting a little older. My dad said, a man's a lot like a coon dog. Time is good for anything, he's dead with old age. That
sounds pretty good.
And I never took the garbage out for 30 years. Whole 30 years. I've been married 42 years, but I never took the garbage out. I could step over it and get around it to get out the door. But now, I take the garbage out. I don't take it out of the can, because I can't hardly do that. But she sits it and I put it in the can. But I moved my garbage cans a lot closer since I'm taking them out now. I make sure it's all out there. But, I think having habits, good habits, is important. And, sometimes you got to really focus on things and set good habits.
Yeah.
And the kids do that. If we can teach young kids to really be, like you're talking about, having him make his bed and work on stuff and do your stuff and build good habits in your life. And it's not easy.
No, it's not.
Bad habits come easier.
Yeah, that's true. Because usually you got to tell them time and time again.
Yeah.
Just point.
But that's good, though, ain't it?
It is.
I think that's good because, see, you have to care enough to try to build that.
You got to build it with them.
Yeah.
You gotta have them a standard, some kind of standard.
Yeah.
And I mean, if not, we had things and chores to do, and we lived at the house.
Right.
You know, under Mom and Daddy's roof.
Yeah.
It wasn't just get up and go sit in front of the game all day.
Yeah.
We had things to do.
All right, then now we're talking about something here. Let's go into this a little bit. So when we're talking about kids, all right, now I'm going to tell you my philosophy, and we don't have to agree on everything, okay? You can be wrong. All right?
I hear you. I hear you.
So I think sometimes you can make the home so comfortable that the kids won't leave. Okay, this is my thoughts now. I'm just telling you my thoughts, all right? I see friends of mine build their houses in such a way it have a bedroom for them all and their own bath and their own this and their own that. And I said, listen, man, those kids are supposed to leave. They're not supposed to stay with you forever, okay? You make it so comfortable. Like
they don't want to go.
You know, an eagle in the nest, and we all know the story, and the eagle pulls them feathers out of that nest so the thorns stick through so them little eaglets will get out.
Get out.
And then that mama eagle don't find out where that other eagle's at and go take food to it. Mm-hmm. Okay? She lets that eagle become strong on its own. And I think sometimes we miss that. That's my thoughts.
True. Very true.
We can love them, but they need to leave.
But there's times you got to love them from a distance.
Amen.
See, you got to love them from a distance. Because, I mean, you know, my boys would laugh and talk about folks, you know, that was in their 30s and 40s or whatever and still home with mama. And I said, let me tell you something. Where are you going?
Yeah.
You know, I had some damage done in my basement, and my baby boy come down and helped. Him and his girlfriend come down and was helping get stuff. And I have food stored.
Right.
And on shelves. And he said, what are you doing that for? He said, you got this place and you look like a store. He said, what are you doing it for? I said, remember the story of the 5 wise virgins and the 5 foolish?
Yeah.
I said, which category are you falling in?
Yeah.
He said, something wrong with your head, something wrong with your neck. I said, which category are you falling in?
That's beautiful.
I said, you're the foolish. Yeah. I said, because it says to store up some stuff.
Right, yes, ma'am.
And I said, things are coming our way. And I said, look at the price of food in the store. Mm-hmm. I said, now you want to come to Miss Bobbie's store?
Yeah.
I said, you're going to have some money paying this store like that. I had him going, he said, Mama. And I said, no, don't Mama me. I said, because now, I said, when it comes, I said, you got a son.
Yeah.
My daughter, I said, I got other family. And I said, they got children. Somebody's got to feed them. Mm-hmm. And I said, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And I said, I can't take, I'm not throwing my, don't. And he picked up a jar of something I had canned. And he said, oh, the date on this is 22. I said, you better put it down on that shelf. He said, this needs to go to the trash. Mom, this is old. I said, not that I've canned, it ain't going to the trash.
Right.
And he said, well, what are you going to do with this stuff? I said, that's the reason I canned it.
Yeah.
So I can have it through the years.
Yeah.
And he said,
Yeah.
I said, well, when it gets hard and tough, don't you come knocking on my door.
Right.
And I said, but you know, they don't. These younger generations,
I believe that.
they don't believe in stocking up, storing up.
Well, I mean, and let's talk about having money in their pocket, having cash. I can go out sometimes, my kids, they ain't got no money. They get the card, okay, and we'll go someplace and they say you got to have cash, and all of a sudden they'll look.
They looking at you.
Yeah, and you know, when it comes down to things, but what I think with kids, with adults, as kids grow up, and we love them, but we have to let them go on their own.
Yeah, that's it.
And it shouldn't be, and now I don't mean they can't come back for holidays, but I mean, you know what I mean?
Just holidays.
Just holidays, okay? But, you know, but you got to sometime in your life that you have to get them ready to go on their own.
Right,
okay?
right.
Because they can grow up.
Right.
And they can, and so they're
take
back
care
in.
of their own children.
And their back end has to hit the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you learn. I know mine did. I mean,
well, you gotta let them kind of string it along, because you know you're gonna help them regardless.
Right.
You gotta still yet let them go.
Yeah.
Like you said, the
They
back
gotta learn.
hit the ground every now and then.
Yeah.
And then see if they can wake up. And I mean, when he was doing that, I told him, I said, yeah, it's a good thing I'm down here. I said, you'd have all my stuff gone to the trash. And he said, oh, you don't need it. I said, you don't know what I need. I said, you better get on the way down here. I said, I'm sitting right here on these steps, and I'll tell you what needs to go.
Right.
And I said, but now I'm telling you, you do. And I mean, they think that we're hard on them.
Right.
They think we're hard on them. And just like I be teaching the grandson some stuff, he say, Granny, you just too strict. And I said, too strict? What is that word? I said, what is that word? And I said, I never heard that word.
Yeah.
I said, you want to explain that word to me? You know what I'm talking about. And I said, no, I'm not too strict.
Yeah.
And I said, you need to, in this life, I said, I'm telling you, you need to be around some good people, some good clean people. And I said, not doing stuff, you need to have your little head up in the church somewhere.
Right.
And I said, I'm telling you, I said, it's not, life's not like it used to be. And I said, I'll tell you my age yet later. Sweet 16. And I said, it's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
And I said, you got to look out and watch the people that you're around.
Right. Okay, let's talk about that. Because, see, I believe this. I believe half the battle, if you're around good people,
you'll be all right.
And there's such thing. I don't care what anybody says. There's good people and bad people.
And
I don't care. You can they can like it. Some people ain't worth jack. Now they can. Jesus loves them, but that don't mean I'm gonna let them in my house. Okay, I mean that's all right. I tell the Lord, I said, them's your people, not my people. They're your children, not my children. But I mean, I think half the battle, if you surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, you can look at your life all you want, but if you're around quality people, I mean people that pay their bills.
Yes.
Okay? People that are who do right and are then that's half the battle, man.
Right. You're going to come out on top somewhere.
You are. I mean, and people they want to talk about it all the time, just doing this and doing that. Well, you go ahead. But I don't want to let other people's foolish decisions mess up my good decisions.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because that right there is the thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's so now we're older. These younger children let this buddy over here pull me. And I stay on his side, and I said, do not associate yourself with that. I said, you see, it's a difference. I said, you see how disciplined your baseball team was? I said, you need discipline, structure in your life. And I said, you can't just get out here and go wild. And I said, because if I didn't care, I'd let you hit the street.
Right.
And I said, and then you see where your buddies and your friends are.
Exactly.
Because when your billfold gets empty,
exactly,
they ain't gonna hand you theirs.
Exactly. I think surrounding yourself with if you be around good people, and I try my best, even in business, I try to be around people that are successful and listen to them and talk to them.
That's right.
And people that you should always have people in your life that's pulling you up.
That's right, and not pulling you down.
You have to try to push higher to be like them.
To get on up there.
I don't know. I mean, I find that in my life. All right, so let's talk about this. This is going to be a tough one, all right? I got a topic here. Let's talk about minding your own business, okay?
It never happens. It never happens.
All right, do we really need to mind our own business? And why does it feel so good not to mind our own business? Maybe it don't to you.
Well,
maybe you're a lot better off than me.
I'm one of those that now family. If it's in the family, now I'm going to speak my piece to them and let them know where I'm coming from.
Okay.
But now them outside folks, God bless you is all I can say.
Yeah.
And and it ain't for me to jump up in the middle of your stuff. What you got going on?
Right.
It ain't. And I said. It takes me back to the time when we used to come over and sing.
Right.
And I said one day, it was one of the guys, I'll not call his name, but he got on this lady and told her, said, I don't want to hear you sing, said, don't sing no more, said you sound terrible. I turned around and I said, what did you just say to that woman? And he said it again. And I said, well, let me tell you something. The word of God says make a joyful noise.
Right.
And I said, who told you you sound so good?
Yeah.
And I said, you don't sound so good yourself. And he went, well, I sound better than her. I said, you better leave her alone.
Yeah.
And I said, or you ain't going to be singing in this group.
Right.
And I said, don't you ever speak to her like that no more.
Yeah.
And he shut it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and Brother Click said, you took good care of that,
Yeah.
didn't you? That was my buddy.
Yeah.
Now he always had my back now.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah, whatever I
liked him.
had to say,
I liked him.
he backed me
Yeah.
up. And he said, you took care of that, didn't you? And I said, yeah. I said,
Right.
you ain't got no right to tell her she can't sing.
Yeah.
Her song. I said, let her sing.
Yeah.
And I said, don't do nobody like that.
Yeah. See, I've always been of the philosophy that the more of your business you mind, the more your business you get done.
That's it.
You only got a certain amount of time in that day. And if you run your nose in everybody else's business,
yours ain't getting done.
you won't get your business done. And
preach it, brother.
I mean,
preach it.
I
help
seen
you
it.
preach it. Preach
But
it.
see, and what happens, people too. I look at how people. I look at people that are always in a mess. Okay, and one of the common things I find is they always got their nose in everybody else's business. If you take care of your marriage and keep your nose out of other people's, you got enough time to take care of your kids and your grandkids.
That's it.
Now, and if one's running out in the road, I might stop them, but I ain't gonna try to raise the neighbor's kids.
That's
and
it.
I ain't gonna try to raise and work with the neighbor. And that's what a thing too. When it comes to my children, I let them raise their kids. Now I'll say a little something.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I ain't gonna let them be plumb foolish. Okay, but a little bit. I said, now, and I'll tell Janice a lot of times. She'll say, I said, now listen, them's their kids. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can talk to them a little bit, but I'll tell you something. I said, in the end, they're their parents.
Yeah.
We're the grandparents, and it's hard.
Yeah.
I said, but it's a hard thing because sometimes it feels good not to mind your own business, and it's a temptation.
Yeah.
You got to guard yourself against.
Well,
it is for me.
Well,
Okay?
it is.
You know,
It's hard.
And I mean, it's like good gossip, man. You got to guard yourself against gossip, don't you? You got to make sure you stay away from it.
That's it. Don't get involved in it.
Yeah.
Don't get involved in it. I mean, don't run and tell me nothing.
Yeah, stay away from it.
I mean, if it ain't happening at my address, excuse me. See you later.
I'm the same. I don't know.
And I do, and I'll just tell them, excuse me.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
I said, because I don't need to hear
I
it.
don't-
You know something? The older I get, the wiser I've gotten, John. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I have gotten wiser. And I mean, there is. Some of this ruckus and stuff
Yeah.
that's going, you don't need to be involved in everything.
No.
And I said, you know something? As long as my little nest
Yeah.
is okay, I'm okay.
Yes.
And I said, don't ruffle Granny's feathers.
I'm
and I said, because
mind my own business.
That's right. I said, because I will tell you real
Yeah.
quick,
Yeah.
tend to your own now
Yeah.
and go on about your business. But I'll take care of whatever's on this end.
I'm the same way.
I said, no,
I
buddy.
think that a lot of times I try, and this is what happens too is I just get out of the way. If it's something
And you got
somebody
to.
else is there's a situation going on, something that because the worst thing you can do, and it's like when you take a, I'll give you an example. I had an old boy work for me one time. Okay, he come in one morning. He used to work for me at the company I had. And he worked for me. He come in talking about his wife, how rotten she was, and she left, and he was just telling me, boy, he's just laying to her. Man, he said things about her bad stuff, okay? And I just listened. I never said nothing. He just said, well, what do you think? I said, they ain't none of my business. Well, I tell you, she's a dirty this, and she done that, and she's taking pills, and she's doing this. He's just going on. I never said a word, okay? And then come Monday, she come back, you know.
She's good then.
He come and said, well, and I found out she come back. He looked at me and I looked at him, and I didn't say nothing. He didn't say nothing. But see, I wasn't going to jump in.
That's right.
Okay? I ain't going to
Because
jump in.
then he'd have got mad at you.
He'd have said, well, look what he said about, and he probably went and told her, you know, when they got me beat up by some little skinny woman. And I didn't want that to happen. But I just don't say nothing. I said, ain't that something?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
really.
And that's it. That's all you can say.
That's all I'm going to do.
Well,
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about, when we talked about growing up some, what about family growing up? Did you have any brothers, sisters? Did you have,
Yeah.
tell me about this.
I'm the baby of 6.
6, okay.
Yeah. They saved the best for the last.
Okay, all right.
I have a brother that's the oldest, my brother, John Horton. And then he was in the service. He was a sergeant in the Army. And then I have 5 sisters. One of my sisters passed in 2017. Diabetes and sugar runs in the family, but it got her. But my oldest sister is Florence. Sometimes some people get us mixed up. And then I have Sister Mary. Well, next is Wanda. No, the one that died is after Flora, Patricia Davis. And then I have Wanda Smith, and then Murray Lambright, and then me.
Were they all good to you growing up? Because you was a baby, they gave you everything you wanted?
No, there's
pacified
mean to me.
You?
Y'all hear this? There's mean to me.
I couldn't believe that.
They're good to me. They're good to me. And my brother, we only had the one boy. That's why I got the name Bobbie.
Right.
That they wanted another little boy, and look who popped out. And but they did. My older sister and my brother, they run things because Mom and Daddy both worked out of the house.
Right.
And I mean, my brother was, when he came back from the service, he thought he was our boss.
Yeah.
And he was.
Yeah.
He was. I said he thought he was, but he was. And then my oldest sister, she did too. She would, I can't stand to dust today. Can you hire me a duster? That was my job. Right. I had to dust all the furniture.
Right.
And she made sure on that Saturday morning you didn't have that TV going.
Right.
Until you got your dusting and your chore done. And Mama come from work and I say, Mama, Flora ain't let me watch TV at all. Yeah. And she said, did you get your work done? And I said, no, you know, you're doing like this, you want to tell a tale. And I said, but I did get it done because she was going to whoop me, Mama. She was going to whoop me. And I mean, the oldest brother, he was the oldest, and the oldest sister, they could whoop you as well as Mama and Daddy could.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. They could whoop you, honey, just like they owned you.
Yeah.
And I'm going,
well, did you ever have to shine John's shoes?
No. He kept them shoes shined himself.
See, there ain't nobody shine shoes no more.
No.
Growing up, that was a big thing, man.
Yeah, but no, he kept himself
as a
shined.
Military.
And yeah, his shoes shined.
I think
and
about that,
his clothes
military.
cleaned and stuff, honey. He didn't have to do nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, he made us girls walk chalk line.
Yeah.
And he did. He was the big one. And now he's had a stroke and different medical issues going on. But he still yet can look at you and give you that eye. He can give you that eye.
I remember him.
Yeah, when I started selling cars, I asked him, and he had already had his stroke.
Right.
And I said, what can I do to get me some business going, get me some people? And he looked at me, and he looked down at my feet. And he looked up at me. And I said, what is it? What's about my shoes? And he said, I said, tie them up. He said, good.
Yeah.
He said, did like this to support your legs. And I said, okay, some good lace-up shoes. He said, I said, what is that? He said, call. This was a calling them. And I said, okay. I didn't get not one of his customers.
I tell you what, nobody could sell cars like him.
I know it, but
he was number one for McCann's
and
Ramey's, but he was number one.
And baby's sister went to Prestige.
Okay,
that's where I was at. Okay, you come in and bought a white truck.
Yeah, we
from
did.
Down there, and I said, there goes JohnDash. Yeah. And I said, but now, my clientele didn't come from this way.
Okay.
My clientele came out of Buchanan County. And I met a lot of friends from down that direction. And I did good. I was there for a couple of years.
That's a tough business, though, ain't it?
Oh, it is.
Seemed like to me like it
is when you're the only girl out there and working with them old hard-headed guys.
And now what happens, too, I've got a buddy of mine that had never done anything, and he's welding, doing stuff now. He used to sell cars. But he said the business changed so much because nowadays we can go on there and find out what that car's worth.
Right.
Okay? And we can look at 25 different lots in
price
10
is different.
minutes. and say, all right, and it'll come on there and say, good deal, bad deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's changed so much.
Yeah.
And now my daughter, the last 2 trucks she's bought, she just called, bought them, and they brought them to her. She never even went to the lot
to do it.
Yeah, she just called, bought the truck, and they brought it to the house and drop it off in the driveway. And
that's
and then pick up the one she traded in and drive it off.
When I bought my little blue car there, that I had a Taurus I had had for, how many years did I have that Taurus?
Those last a long time.
Yeah, then I think I had it for, it was a 2004.
Yeah.
And I had it, just got rid of it in 23. I had it, what, 14, 17 years? I'm telling you, the car had over 280,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
And it had some rust going on it. And I had bought it down at Prestige right before I started work there. And I said, and my buddy Scott Ringstaff, he used to tease me about it. And I said, he said, it ain't broke down on you yet. I said, don't talk about my car like that. And anyway, they ended up taking, the guys told me I had an antifreeze leak coming up into the motor. And he said, Bobbie, he said, if you don't have it fixed, he said, if you don't put a new motor in here, he said, it's going to leave you on the side of the road. I said, I don't believe you know what you're talking about. I think you just want my car. And he said, no. He said, I'm telling you. He said, you keep the antifreeze in it. He said, can't tell you how long it's going to last, but you need to do something.
Right.
So I called him and told him. I called, and at the time, Scott's working at down Ramey's. And I said, I need a car. I said, I need a car. And he said, well, what do you want? And I said, I don't know what I want. And I said, but I just need something a little economical, something.
Right.
I said, I don't need nothing. And he said, come on down here and let's see what we can do. So I went down there and got a little Bluebird out there. And I said, it is, I'm telling you, about cried.
Yeah.
But them guys bought it up to the house and got my Taurus, and I seen my Taurus going down that road. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I said, because it's like a family member done died.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, that little car was good to me. And I mean, I was go take it in the snow, and I'd go on down the road to work, come on back. And I said, it was a good running little car. And I told him, I said, if I see a car on the road somewhere, I said, y'all in trouble.
I think, and I interviewed a lot of people who sell cars, okay? And one of the keys I found about people who sell cars, they ain't driving new cars. I tried to get one the other day. I talked to Charlie Absher. I said, when's the last time you ever bought a new car? It was like 1974 something. You know what I mean? And I said, because you guys know that that's the worst investment you can have. All it's worth is to get you from A to B. And I said, and the biggest thing that yokes people out is they buy cars they can't afford, and then they trade it in too quick, and they end up never letting it be worth anything to them. But my vehicles are paid for, and they've all got over 100,000 miles. But I put good tires on them, new batteries in them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Going.
I keep them going, change the oil. But I do that, and I said, now they're worth something to me since they're paid for. You know what I mean? And I think that's a big thing when you take a look at that stuff. I don't know.
But something I realized working at the dealership, it don't matter what you got. You can have the finest of luxury, and I'll get in the old Volkswagen, and we're going to get down the road the same time.
Same way.
I said, that they was wanting me to get a car out the showroom, and I looked at my nephew. I said, "Are you crazy?"
Oh, that's the worst mistake.
I said, "Are you crazy?" I said, $I'm not paying no $4 or $5 or $600 for no vehicle.
Right.
And I said, no. I said, and he said, they don't make no Tauruses no more. And I said, well, if they don't make it no more, I think they stopped here 3 or 4 years back. So now whatever you get, you're going to get a used one. I said, I don't care if it's a used one, as long as it get me up and down the road. Well, we ain't got none. I said, okay, I'll go down here, Ray. We still find me one. Yeah. And I went down there and Scott found me one, called Prince, and got it. And I said, okay. I said, I like that one. John, my grandson John was with me. I said, John, you like this car? That's a pretty car, Granny. Get that one. And I said, you sure I need to get this one? Or we need to look some more? Get that, Granny.
Yeah.
So I got it. And I said, and it's still running. And I said, change, like you say, change the oil, keep you some good tires on it.
Yeah.
Go
If you got something wrong, fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, well, let's talk about one more thing here. I got two more things, but one thing I'm going to talk about. If young Bobbie come up here and knocked on the door, John, is Bobbie in there? Is older Bobbie in there? And I said, yes. Well, I want her to give me some advice. Okay, so young Bobbie's there now, and now you're going to give her some advice, young Bobbie, some things to keep her from maybe making, and I'm not saying you've ever made a mistake in your whole life. I'm not saying that. But maybe to keep her from making some mistakes that young Bobbie, she made along this journey. What kind of advice could you give her?
Number one, she needs to be a praying girl.
Okay.
She needs to pray. She needs to trust the Lord and ask God to lead and guide her. Mm-hmm. Stick with it.
Yeah.
And don't give up on Him. That stick with the Lord and don't listen to what every creature's got to tell you. Mm-hmm. You know, to put your head up, hold your head up high, and look up. Mm-hmm. Because that's where your blessings coming from.
Yeah, yeah. What could you give her advice about money? What would you tell her to do with her money?
She better put it in her pocket and hold it. Hold tight to it.
Okay.
During this time.
Right.
You better.
Now she's growing up. She's 18, 19 years old. She's going to work. She's going to come along in life.
Well, still yet. The banks don't trust the banks. We're right here in this day and time. Mm-hmm. We're here. She's at this day and time.
Right.
Don't trust the banks. Put your money in your pocket somewhere and go for it. You know, don't try to go out here and buy stuff extravagant. Yeah. You know, take care of your home, take care of your family, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, I think it's good advice. I think you get in too far, and you know, pride is a driving force for the economy, okay?
Yeah.
Pride makes you buy a car you can't afford. Pride makes you live in a house you can't afford.
Can't do it.
And you got to guard yourself against that thing.
That's right. You can't do it. You gotta live within your means. That's what it is. Right. Live within your means with what you got.
Exactly.
And I mean, you know, the rest of it will come.
Yeah.
But your first thing is put God first.
Amen. I can see that.
And look ahead.
I can see that. All right, I got one last question I want to ask you. What now? And I'm gonna exclude some things from you. Okay. That's gonna make it hard on you. I'm gonna make this hard. Okay. Because it's the last question. Now, if I ask Bobbie, what makes you happy? All right, what makes you happy? Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull out the grandkids.
Okay.
You have that answer. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna move the children out of the way. I'm gonna move the kids back. Say no, not when they're happy. I'm happy. That's an easy answer. Mm-hmm. But see, what makes you happy? What do you do that makes you happy? If I said tomorrow, Bobbie, let's do something that just makes you happy, not makes your children happy, or your grandkids happy, or your sisters happy, or your brother. No, let's just do something that you really like to do. What would it be? That's a hard one.
That may be a hard one, but ain't nothing like having peace and quiet.
Okay.
And that's it. You know, I always tell the little story. I say when I go in my house, my bed, I pass through my living room, and there's a hallway. Right. And I said, somebody down that hallway says, come down here, Bobbie, come down here. And I say, no, I got things that I got to do. And it says, come down here, Bobbie, come down here. And I said, I'll turn and go down the hallway to see who's talking to me. And it's my bed. It says, get up here and take a nap. And I said, so, you know, but ain't nothing like having peace and quiet.
Yeah, I agree.
And I said, that's it. And, you know, take time talk to the Lord. You know, you're in the house by yourself. Just take time and be by yourself. And I mean, when you finish, and I mean, just take it.
I think it's because you're happy with yourself.
Yeah.
So it makes you happy to be with yourself because you like yourself.
Yeah.
And if you don't like yourself, man, you need to make changes, okay?
That's it. That's
you need to make. Now I take a nap every day. I'm a creature of habit, okay? I hit me a nap, man. I'll hit one, and you know, it's from my. I said where I got that Mexican in me. I got a little. I take me a siesta. I called it. All right. I'm Irish and Mexican, and I've got a lot of things going on, and so I either want to fight or take a nap. But I like to take me a nap on up in the day. I rest better in the daytime than I do at night. I don't rest good at night.
You tossing and turning all night. See, I go through that.
And Janice makes me, when I take a nap, she won't let me lay on the bed. Okay, no, she said. So I have to take my clothes off, and I hang my pants up, my socks up, my shirt up. I hang them over top of the chair, and I have to get under the covers. I have to unmake the bed, and she makes it right back up when I'm done. But
get in the bed.
She makes me get in the bed. She'll say, "Get in that bed," but.
Now I just go in and lay across the bed.
Yeah,
and
my mama does that.
And I just take me a little nap, and I mean, when I get up, I'm happy and ready to go again. I get up and got ideas and things I want to do. I want to cook supper. I want to do stuff. I got things on my mind. I can get up and move again. So I mean that. So it makes you happy to be with yourself. Yeah. I think that's great. I'm in total agreement of that. I mean, I think you should be happy with yourself if you're not make changes. And that's it. Yeah. But you know something, you got to be happy within first. I think that too. And that's a fact. I agree. And I think sometimes people know how rotten they are. That's why they ain't happy with themselves. Yeah. They know. They know what they need to do. But they you know, life is life. Life is life. You got to make it or you break it. Yeah. And I mean, that's the way it goes. And I feel like you got to have a plan, Bobbie. If you don't, either you'll run your life or your life will run you. And I think you got to have a plan. I always teach my kids, you need to have a 5-year plan, a 1-year plan, a 30-day plan. You got to have. You can change it. Yeah. Always change it if you want to change it. If you decide, but have a plan for your money. Have a plan for your marriage. Have a plan for your relationships. You know, what Janice you want to do. Janice and I like that. We travel a lot. We enjoy it. We stay in that camper. We stay in Walmart parking lots. We go to the beach and stay at the Cracker Barrel. You know what I mean? And we like that. Yeah. But I'm trying. This part of our life, our plan was to spend time with each other. Right. Okay. And I still take care of my mother. I still do all that. I mean, you know, I told her just a little while this morning her water was froze up, but it's all right now. But I said, I'll come over and plug up. I got a heat tape all set up on all of her water system. Yeah. And I said, I'll come over. No, it's working okay now. But I mean, I make sure that whatever she needs, all right. She needs anything, I want to be there for that. But I try to make sure with Janice now at this point in our life, because I'm smart enough to know, the Bible says, teach me, Lord, to number my days. Yeah. I'm not sitting here thinking I got 20 or 30 more years left at my age. I'm not in that good of health, and I don't think that. So I want to make sure I take time and I appreciate today, right, and enjoy today, and do that, man, and let the rest of it fly. Sometimes you got to let it go, because I mean the drama. If people have drama in their life, they want you to have drama in yours. You know. Yeah. And I'm going, hey, I ain't for it. Take that away from here. You know, take that away from here. Yeah. I ain't for it. And I mean. Don't talk about it to me. Yeah, I don't want to let their bad decisions mess me up. That's it. And you know the main thing I tell them? Hey, if you can't deal with it, get on your knees and pray. Yeah, exactly. I said pray. You pray. I said pray. Yeah. I said ask the Lord to lead and guide you. I said if you feel that something's wrong, I said I can't help you. Yeah. I said go on and ask the Lord. Right. I said you need to have that with you every day. Right. And I said, you don't need to go to see no psychiatrist. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to go into this, but I wanted us to go. But when we talk about forgiveness, I talk to people about forgiveness a lot. Yeah. Okay. I said you've got to have forgiveness in your life. Now, something people go through, it would be impossible for them to forgive somebody.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, if you'll ask the Lord to help you forgive,
That's right.
you can forgive.
Do it.
But you need to ask Him to help you forgive, because in yourself you can't find forgiveness sometimes.
No, because you want to hold that. You know, Satan's out there. What does it say? He's roaming to and fro, seeking who he can
Kill,
devour.
steal, and destroy. Yeah, he wants to mess you up.
You know, he does. And so, you know, the more that you hanging on to the dysfunction, it's going to hit you. It's going to keep on crawling on you. And I'm going, you know, my bed's calling me. I got to go.
My buddy's talking about a while back.
We ain't got time for that foolishness.
He said, I think it was Mickey Hale was talking about, he said, unforgiveness is like a tree you plant. The longer you leave it in the ground, the bigger it gets.
Yeah.
And he said, if you'll pluck that thing up.
Yeah, you got to.
It won't grow.
Pluck it up by the roots. It's got to go. It's got to go.
I want to forgive.
And I do too. Because I mean, I don't want no enemies.
Right.
I don't want no enemies. And I said, I know, you know, you supposed to. I seen a little thing here not long ago. Said, remember your friends, but keep your enemies closer.
Yeah.
Huh? And I said, now ain't that pretty good? I said, I don't have no enemies. I don't know who my enemies are. And you know, if you get up every day and you pray and you trust the Lord, walk out that door with pride and contentment.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, if you don't like me, so what? So what?
I said to know me is to love me.
That's it.
What I said.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It doesn't mean that things sometimes, but sometimes people don't mean it either. They'll say bad things, and they having a bad day.
Yeah.
They having a bad day sometimes, and I know that, man. They're just having a bad day, and they don't really mean all the stuff they say. And sometimes people are trying to cover up their own life, things that they're going through.
Right,
and they're a little bit funny about it.
Well, they want somebody to lunch out at.
Yeah.
And they say, when she's always been, you know, walking with a smile on her face. And if I say this, it's going to wipe that smile off her face.
Yeah.
So I'm going, you know, devil, you give it your best shot. You give it your best shot, oh big boy. And I said, and see if I don't keep on smiling.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I don't know what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
I said, but do them like this and say, I got to keep moving. And that's
I agree with you, Bob.
And I said, you know, you just gotta keep on rolling.
Yeah.
And I said, because God's good to us all.
Yeah, I agree.
Amen.
Well, I tell you what, I've enjoyed having Bobbie here with me today. You're watching Just From the Shed, and we are in the shed. Now, Janice wanted us to come in the house this morning. She said, now, why don't you just bring Bobbie in here and y'all sit in here? I said, no, it's called Just From the Shed, and I want her to come and see the shed. I said, I'm awful proud of my shed. And she said, well, it might be cold. So I got heaters going for Bobbie and a blanket back here.
Now
She even sent you a bottle of water out. I forgot to tell you about that. But Janice real considerate about stuff. She's a lot better than me.
Janice is a nice lady.
She is the best wife I ever had. But anyway, I appreciate Bobbie coming. This programs and what we do is about people like her, because I believe there's people who have lived their life and they got wisdom and they've went through things and they can share those things with you. It's important that you listen to those things. I'm telling you, you can't get this kind of information in a college somewhere. You can't get it someplace. You cannot get this kind of information like we've shared today. These are things that will help you in your life and help you grow, help you do good. Apply these principles and think about it. I'm telling you what, the things she shared today, she didn't read them in a book. She lived them. And that's important that we do those things. Well, thank you for watching Just From the Shed. Appreciate you. God bless you, and adios.
Adios.